Hello and welcome to another episode in the series of Impact. And here we discuss life, we discuss things that have made a difference to you, whether you're a teacher, your parents, or anyone else. And we just have conversation about how we are making a difference and can make a difference to others' lives. So today we have a very special guest with us. We have the founder, director of 360 Lifestyle Support Network, CIC. They specialize in dealing with supporting people in the Black and Caribbean community to engage in their holistic lifestyle. They educate and inspire them to change their lifestyle to become a better version of them and hold regular monthly meeting or weekly meeting. So with us, we have Leon Thompson. Hello, Leon.
Hello, Craig. Thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me. Can I just correct one small point? Yeah,
Yeah.
I found it with my sister. We did this together. Okay,
So
so
one
this
of the
is something
founder.
I couldn't do. I couldn't do on my own.
Yeah, one of the founder, your sister Francine Daly is the other director and founder of the LSN network, CIC. And I'm hoping at some point, one of these days, we'll have a conversation with Francine ourselves. Leon, Lifestyle Support Network. Um, Tell us how that started and
Well,
what it's all about.
well, first things first. Francine is my sister. I'm her big brother. She came to me one year. A little bit excited. She wanted to just do something to help um people, Black people, who are particularly diabetic and just not just diabetes, different things. And we're coming up to end of year, New Year. In fact, Christmas had just gone, and we're going to New Year. And she goes, she was thinking about doing um something like a Black version of Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, are you serious? Wow. No, I'm really up on that, right? Because I'm thinking, I'm all for helping people and empowering people and all the rest of it, but a Black version of Weight Watchers. I'm not watching weight. I'm Black, but I'm not watching weight, right? Come up with a more imaginative title like Fat Jettison. And if you look at the word jettison, you find that when a plane got too much fuel to land,
Yeah.
in case of an impact, the pilot will jettison the fuel in the air. Not necessarily good for the environment, but it will save an inferno on a crash landing situation. So the pilot's not looking for that fuel again. That's gone. And that's how we want fat to be, if that's what you're going to do. But I recognize that there's a whole lot more wrong with our people than just losing weight.
Mm.
And I thought, let's look at holistically the whole picture. You know, what things are we challenged with, and what things can we need help with? So I knew immediately that there's always a market for health and wellness. It's a massive market.
Yeah.
If you're looking at people to serve, not necessarily in terms of money, although that can come too, but if you want to help people, helping with their health, basically, just about everybody's sick one way or another.
Yeah.
And those that are not sick and are Black just don't realize it yet. There are something going on. And it pains me to say, I mean, I'm smiling because we have an opportunity to help these people and serve them, but it also saddens me because, once in a while you see someone that's fit, they don't really go to the doctor much, they don't go to hospital, they don't take pharmaceutical drugs, and they're fine. But that is the exception. When was the last time you met a person like that? They
Yeah.
had no ailments and they're fine. It's like they're either just coming from hospital, just going to hospital, or they're caring for someone who's very sick. And usually it's diabetes, high blood pressure are the main ones. And the latest kid on the block, which has been around for some time, but it's been recognized now, prostate cancer for males. Raising awareness because men just need to get checked. And a lot of men are reluctant to get checked because they think the test is going to be an invasive test.
So you and your sister had that conversation, and you started, and it turned out to be Lifestyle Support Network now. But before you tell us, we delve into why you are so passionate about this. Tell us a bit more about you yourself. Growing up, where you're from, about you.
Well, I was actually born in Jamaica.
Mhm.
I was born in New Haven Maternity Home, Halfway Tree. So that's Kingston, Jamaica. And I grew up in Point Wilson, Catching, where the ancestral home is, but in my early years as a toddler. So walking barefoot in the country in short pants was the order of
Mhm.
the day. And things like that we take for granted.
Yeah.
We think, oh, they're so poor, they're walking barefoot. If you tell you, say, now we're trying to find clean spaces that are not full by animals, yeah, that we
Yeah.
can walk on some grass, a little piece. Gardens are turfed over, walking in the forest, for example. Can't can't emphasize enough the connection to healing. Just something simple like grounding,
Hmm.
walking on the ground. Ground is a key in the name. The words match up, but most people in this country, tell them about walking on the ground, they think, what, you're on money, buy a pair of shoes. No, 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 no. I've got holy for shoes, right? I'm intentionally wanting to, walk like things like tree hugging.
Yeah.
We do that from time to time. People might think we're crazy, but when they do the research, they'll understand that connection to Mother Nature. When you're climbing trees in Jamaica and picking fruit, you're connecting with nature and at one with, and those vibrations and energies, you're getting that into your body and your soul and the core of your being. Those types of things.
And those are the things that we children nowadays don't have the luxury of it. I remember growing up in Jamaica, and being in the trees, playing in the grass, playing in the fields, running around, playing cricket in the streets. Those things doesn't happen anymore, but it's a vital part of growing up, and your health, isn't it?
Absolutely. And as Taurus Riley said, the simple things are your blessings. And we wholeheartedly believe that, less complexity in the things we do, the foods that we're eating, there's so much preservatives and chemicals added to. And then when
Yeah,
you add the drug, etc. But going back to nature and eat simple things, yeah, eating earth foods, whole foods, just foods in general. Because a
yeah,
lot of what you get in the supermarket when you deep it, right, it ain't really food. When,
processed.
when, when you're looking ultra processed, and we're so far removed from food, some of the products, I mean, I could name some brands, but I'll try and not put it into legal problems, right? Some of the things that we're eating, they don't even resemble the food that you think it is. If you knew that it's a totally chemicalized process, and pharmaceuticals have got a hand in, and the larger companies and conglomerates, they all work together.
Yeah.
And guess what? The primary motive is profit, not your health.
When you were growing up in Jamaica, how much of an impact was health around you, or seeing people, or was it just, because you were growing up, you enjoyed a healthy lifestyle? And when did you realize the difference, and see a change?
Well, health has always been important, but we don't often recognize the significance of. We take it for granted. Now,
Hmm.
but I knew from an early age, my grandmother, may God rest her soul, lives in a country, and she knew, she just instinctively knew. It was a fever grass, bush tea. We had ginger and a lot of fruits, vegetables. But I remember one instance in particular because our family home is on a hill. You go in a little plateau, then you go up a steep hill, and it plateaus off when you're at the top of the hill. And I was playing, I fell down, cut my knee, and well, big man, I cry, but so, some water rolled down, right? So,
Yeah.
and I remember her saying, come with me. So she took me on the hill.
Hmm.
I'm thinking, where we going? When we go down the hill, we're going out.
Yeah.
What is now? She stopped because in the red dirt of St. Catherine, she stopped and she rummaged around and picked up some white things. I'm thinking, don't tell me, snail shells.
Whoa.
Okay? So I'm thinking, right, I'm sitting there, now. It's yours. So she got it, washed it off, pounded it up into a powder, sprinkled it on the wound. Next day, what wound?
Wow.
It's like, I'm thinking, okay, and straight away I knew that this woman, this woman knew some things. Okay, she knew just exactly what to do. So I know that whenever I'm sick, grandmother had the remedy. She just knew, and it was no Encyclopedia Britannica or big books in them days, right? It just she just this for that, that for that, that for that, that for that, whatever. They know, but we're losing that as time goes by, and we're getting removed from our ancestors and our generations. We're losing that skill. So part of our remit now, we want to go back into Jamaica and capture some of those natural remedies. Now, one can ask, okay, why Jamaica? Why not Africa? And why not many other places on planet Earth?
Yeah.
Jamaica has one of the richest topology in the world. Okay. And that richness, the diversity of plants and the ecosystem of Jamaica is incredible. There are very few places on planet Earth that can match that. A lot of Jamaicans don't recognize that. They don't know that. It's not taught. But I watch, there are a lot of organizations that will go in to Jamaica, especially to the Maroons in the Maroon County and the hills and Blue Mountain and those types of areas. And they're getting herbal remedies. Some people are finding from Africa,
Yeah.
certain parts of Africa, to get herbs because the herbs in Jamaica are the most potent.
When you talk about your grandmother, I remember my grandmothers, usually have something for everything. It doesn't matter, and my mom would do the same if there's something. I remember being bathed in some leaves when I have different illness. And you were right. We take those things for granted because we usually have the fruit trees and everything around our house, so you don't have to go and buy. But with how things are now and everything is being mechanized and modernized, we are losing that. So I'm interested in how are you going to looking at capturing those remedies from our grandparents, from our ancestors, which is uh, I would say a lost art, or we are losing that.
Well, you're right. And it's a good question to ask. First thing, our grandparents are gone.
Mm,
Okay. So it won't be our grandparents. But the naturopathic healers in Jamaica, the herbal healers in Jamaica, have a lot of this information. And just by knowing plants, they know how to, in this country, they call it foraging. Okay. We didn't even know it as that. We
yeah,
just go up bush and get what you want. It's simple. So we're looking at ways that we can bring that to the fore and capture some of that knowledge. So we're looking for first-rate herbal healers in Jamaica. Now, you know how the country run is poverty and everything else, and everything is based around money.
yeah,
Okay, so you have to have backative. Being a small and new organization, we don't yet have to that kind of cash to front, but we're firm believers in you start where you stand. Okay, if we're waiting till we're rich to go and research those things, it will never happen.
yeah,
Okay, so I made a couple of trips to Jamaica. Um, one was in February, and that was to bury the matriarch of our family. That was a sad but glad occasion.
yeah,
Glad I was able to go and pay my respects. And this person shaped my life and was influential and taught me many things. So a lot of the character I have is like a second mother to me.
yeah,
So that was a pleasure. And we celebrated life rather than mourning passing. But I was able to have conversations and look, for example, we have probably a couple of acres around our property, and we have lush vegetation. We have breadfruit. We have soursop, papaya,
mm,
coconut, guava, avocado pear, some oranges, BC, pimento.
wow,
And I've missed out a whole lot. And
mm,
it's just, I'm thinking, yeah, we have a little Eden right there. So we as a family now are gonna renovate the home, the family home, because no one's
Yeah.
living there. And I won't tell too much about those plans because
Mm.
that'd be premature and all
Yeah.
the families are. But I'm trying to get plants that were there and I miss. We used to have a tangerine tree right in front of the house.
Mm.
That's gone. Over time, they demise, they probably get
Yeah.
disease or whatever. I'm thinking, but nobody's replaced that. Now, I had fond memories of picking tangerines and that made so much, and the tangerines were big
Yeah.
and sweet. So I want that. But as we're going down the road of genetic modification, a lot of things are GM. You can't find original, what we now call organic.
Yeah.
But back
Yeah.
home, we just know it stuff, just produce. I mean, you'd never hear granddad saying, I'm going to dig some organic yam. It was like everything was organic.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just weren't contaminating the soil. And, we were doing crop rotation and all those things that you need to do and tending to the land. So I'm looking for seeds that are like what they call heirloom seeds that are not being genetically modified.
And I'm sure you can get those in Jamaica because there are lots of places that will still have the organic things running. I'm just wondering if
At the moment.
yeah, yeah. I'm just wondering if there is a scope for um just recording those yeah, I would call them grandma's remedies that, yes, our grandparents are gone and our parents are gone maybe, but we can record because I think one of the things I find in our culture, we don't record things a lot. In this country, you go to any museum and you see things from way back when. And I remember thinking back in Jamaica, we don't really record. We have stories being passed on, but we don't record and preserve that information. Is there something like that you're planning or looking at?
We're trying to figure it out.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Because as I'm talking to you, the things are formulating and thinking about different. That's how my mind works.
Hmm.
Um, One thing that we have to have is more respect as a people for our elders. In certain cultures, the elders are revered as just sacred, you know. And I think we lost our way a little bit. The elders like, sure, we're burdened with taking care of them and all, but they took care of us when we were younger.
Yeah.
So when you give back, so I've always been one that will sit down with the elders and have a conversation. I mean, apart from, yo, how did you? I'm gone. There has to be more conversations than that.
Yeah.
So some of the elders now got dementia, for example.
Hmm.
But even in the dementia, if you listen to them talk,
You learn.
there's a lot of knowledge coming
Yeah.
out.
Hmm.
And we need to spend more time, even in this country, the Windows generation, fascinating to listen to them. They will tell you how it was, how they fought, how they battled, you know. No children, no blacks, no Irish, no dogs. That's how they classified us. And
Yeah.
all those things that they live through, they have rich blessings and rich stories. And we are resilient people because they're still smiling through all those things. So if we learn nothing else, we should learn about resilience and how to be resilient. So it takes patience and time to have those conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of time, everything's on warp speed. So it's just to calm it down, sit down, and just talk. Because some of the old people in their 90s are still alive. We don't know how long with the way the world is, everything is speeding up.
But it's about capturing that information that and there's so much information they can because I know when I speak, each year as a teacher when I talk to children about World War and they're showing videos of people who have fought in the war. Rarely you see the representation of Black Caribbean people who have been there, who have done that, and there are a lot of them around. And it's about getting that. I'm just thinking, you talk a lot about your grandmother and how influential she was in your upbringing, and looking back in her use of the natural remedies. Who else was there that influenced you as you're growing up in Jamaica?
Well, I had aunts and uncles. The aunt that was a matriarch, I went to Kingston to live with her at a certain age, because grandmother being older, children need better education.
Yeah.
So there are better schools in Kingston, and my aunt had a very large home. we started off from a tiny origin, like 1 bedroom, and she built on, expand. The funniest moments, one of the times we went to celebrate rather than mourn, and there were 19 people in that house in Kingston,
Mm,
19 of us, and we all had beds, there's several bathrooms,
yeah.
and so we could cater for everyone. And I asked her one of the questions is, Mummy, why were you so insistent on expanding this almost to the borders? The garden got smaller and smaller. It's a large property for the size of plot that it's
Yeah.
on Washington Boulevard, Duane Park. And she said, you know what? I wanted to have a place where all the family can come, somewhere like I say, a free yard. No matter what happens to you, we can come. Now, all the family used to pass through that home as like finishing school. So if we didn't learn it in the country, we sure learned it there to cook,
Yeah.
wash, clean. And she was in the police force. She's quite senior. So I had to shine up her button them, starch her shirt so I can draw starch
Yeah.
by hand, right? Many people look at me like, draw starch? What do
What
you
is
mean?
that?
Yeah,
They
what
say,
do you
what
mean?
is that?
Draw starch, right? Are you an artist? No, not
Mm.
that kind of draw. And clean shoes and all those things. But her presentation was immaculate.
Yeah.
And she taught me things like nothing's too small to share. My grandmother, though, was the epitome of that because people just pass through and they'd be fed.
Yeah.
The pot was always large enough. You had to eat fast though because if anyone visit and you find your dinner could shrink in size. But I learned those things about care for each other,
Hmm.
and the aunt taught me like your brothers and sisters you must live good and look out for each other, take care of each other, okay, and your younger siblings, yeah, whatever you do, them can do it too. I wasn't too fond of that one at the time because I'm thinking that's an affront to my seniority.
Yeah.
But I realized what she's saying is don't let your bigger brother bully you or anyone bully you.
Yeah.
If someone else can do it, you can do it too. And you have a right to do it. So you're no less of a human being just because you're smaller or shorter. And that is a lesson right there. When I think back, some of the things that she taught me that I might not have understood back then, when I look back now, I recognize that, yeah, that was what she was trying to show me.
Yeah. Family, your aunt and you learn a lot from family, and I think you have made it clear family and caring for each other is a vital part of your bringing, and no doubt you continue to do that. When did you move to the UK?
I was 9 years old.
Mm,
Picture this now. My aunt's husband, my uncle by marriage, was a haulage contractor, is what you call it in this country, and drive truck
yeah.
for the wharf. So you pick up like pimento, all those types of crops, coffee, all over Jamaica. So I had the privilege of riding in the cab with him, especially in school holidays. I went all over Jamaica, all parts of Jamaica I've been to. I can't even remember so many places.
Yeah.
Eating fish, fried fish, lobster, them things. I mean, some would say, "Oh, you got spoiled." No, I didn't get
Mm,
spoiled. I just had that experience.
yeah.
So my aunt was in the police force. Going to school now, went to New Providence School in Kingston. I got dropped to school in a police squad car because she was into it early,
Mm.
and I got picked up by a squad car too. So that was privileged because that was my taxi. I mean, that was so
Yeah.
I wasn't going straight on the way to school or coming home. So and that kept me on the straight and narrow. Um, nowadays in this country, the way the police is not revered,
Yeah.
probably been a problem, right? But so I was living the life. I mean, I was treated very, very well. Disciplined when needed to, when it was needed, and I appreciate that.
And you weren't a troublemaker.
Me, look at me good, and tell me if you think that I'm capable of such things, right? All I know is that being in the police force in the senior all whole police station and or head office in the
Yeah.
commissioner's office, my aunt went taking her prison. She wasn't joking. Trust
Mhm.
me, because imagine you work in a commissioner's office, yeah,
Yeah.
and you're like superintendent of the police, and you have a youth living with you, that's your nephew, right? Running right. Oh, not a
Not
chance,
not a
right?
chance. Yeah.
So I was loving it. But my mom came to England to get married. One lucky man was persistent and went to grandparents and asked for a hand in marriage when he did those things in those days. And granddad said yes. So she came to England to make a better life. And whilst I wasn't wanting for anything, when I say I was good.
Yeah.
When she brought me to listen, your mother sent for you, she's ready for you to come over to England. I'm thinking, I was 9 years old,
Mm.
and I was thinking, oh, what are you pumping not to go out there? So, but hold on a second, yo, I'm good, I'm good. Listen, love my mom. Just,
Yeah.
just tell her that I'm good. I'll come over soon. She said, no, 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 you have to go. We had care of you, and we helped and supported. But now you're
No.
her
No, you have
child,
to
and,
go.
and
Yeah.
your mother sent for you. We can't disobey that instruction. So I'm thinking, man. So when I came over, it was different. I thought, first of all, what's this white powder on the floor? That flour? And then it was cool. I'm thinking, the whole country of AC. When I realized, hold on a second, this ain't no AC. This is how it is. I'm thinking, what? Why? Now, her new husband, my stepfather, it was a tricky time. Okay. So when we got into some difficulties, and I'll leave it like that on this interview,
Yeah.
I was just thinking, why? Why did you bring me over here, right? You understand me?
Yeah.
That's no, 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 no. Send me back, My name beg for come here.
Mm.
But to be fair, he took good care of us, yeah. He had some different notions about discipline and how things went. I'm thinking, being the eldest one, I
Yeah.
bore the brunt of it, right? For things that the younger one did, I got bust me.
Mm.
I found that just not acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay. If I do something, I can take responsibility for it and take that beating. But if I didn't do what you think I might have done, then now we got a problem.
Yeah.
And being a stubborn child, I weren't crying. You understand me? I just weren't crying.
Mm.
My resolve was this: you ain't gonna break me. You ain't gonna break me, right? So I wouldn't cry. And the more I wouldn't cry, the more I got beat,
Mm.
right? Back then, there was no social services to phone and divorce the parents and all them things there, right?
Yeah.
So you just bear it and grow up. But we had very beautiful houses, nice cars,
Yeah.
good food, and we're clean clothes and everything. So, from that point of view, it was good. And people say, oh, just be grateful. But I learned from that psychologically, your well-being is important too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
your worth as an individual. And you have a right not to be treated a certain way. So, and just being fair. So, in all our dealings, we try and be fair and put ourselves in the other person's shoes. So if you came to us and said, look, you've got this problem going on, that problem going on, that challenge, whatever, yeah. Well, first we're trying to think is, how are you coping with that, right? How is that affecting you? Okay. And how do you want to proceed?
Yeah.
There's several things we can do to help you, but we can't work up a plan for you without you.
So you
Okay.
so you have to talk about and share and know what is happening before you can make that progress forward. And I guess you having that experience, having, growing up with aunts and grandparents, um I guess your father wasn't around at that time. And then having to come to a new country with step parents was a difficult challenge. So that made you into another person. You had to grow up fast.
I mean, my birth father died when I was about 5 years old.
Mm.
He was ill. Now, again, I even learned from that because I knew him and I remember him. He made sure that I was taken care of very good, very well. And he would make sure that when my grandmother was looking after me, 2 o'clock Friday, he'd be there with a box of groceries. Now he happens to be an insurance salesman that had a grocery store.
Yeah.
all my food and things and nappy and them things when I was that age was delivered. And those that knew him would say, you know what, Mr. Thompson, upstanding man of the community, you could set your pot by him.
Mm-hmm.
2 o'clock Friday,
He'll be
he's
there.
gonna be there. Rain, thunderstorm, no matter. He made sure that you were taken care of. I learned from that as a father to make sure that my children are taken care of no matter what. Those that know me will tell you that my children grew up with my hands. They come out of the womb into my hands, and they never left. The youngest one just turned 20,
Mm.
and
And
when
you,
they were younger, I took care of them. I didn't give them out here, whatever. If I couldn't bring them with me, then we ain't going.
yeah. So you had a lot of positive influence from your parents and from your grandparents, and you came to this country. You were in a situation, a different culture, different. How was it going up into schools and then making that transition? So you're living with your stepfather and your mother, and you're now going into the school world. How was that?
It was tough
Hmm.
because stepfather made a decision to move us out of Handsworth into Erdington, which is a bit of a multicultural area, but still predominantly white Caucasian. But then, as he worked harder and became more senior in his sales, or he's a salesman too, um, he decided to move the family to Tamworth, Staffordshire. Nice area, but guess what? Spot the carbon related person, right? You look around, people didn't look like me. In school, secondary school, I was like this. 1,200 children in secondary school, yeah?
Yeah.
4 or 5 blacks.
Mm.
Imagine how much fun I had. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it was tough. It was just tough. But testament to our mother. I haven't talked much about mommy. Mommy was a glue that kept everything together,
Yeah.
and she cooked amazing. She, as a housekeeper, she was exemplary, and the love that she had and showed. Now, the 360 is set up in honor.
Yeah.
Francine, my sister, has a lot of the traits of mom in
Mm.
terms of caring, looking after people. Mommy, everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
So you meet someone, and you know, she'd have them around the house. I'm thinking, hold on a second, we have these people around the house that we don't know. And guess what? They get to have the fresh fruits and vegetables,
The
yeah.
best. They get the best.
You're getting last week's, yeah. Never mind so by day. So I'm thinking, why can't we have the shiny apples, right? But and she'd bake and give away. I'm thinking, Mom, you can't be baking cakes, and she was a wicked baker, and giving away to. But it's her birthday and this, that, whatever. She gives to charity, and I'm thinking, why is Mom so kind? And even people that wronged her and didn't treat her as the queen that she was so humble and kind to them.
Yeah.
Again, couldn't understand it. I'm thinking, something for me, that trust me, that there's somebody. But she said, no, it's okay. You know better, so do better.
So I guess what I'm picking up from all of this conversation so far is that a lot of the things you have learned and you are doing is as a result of seeing and watching your parents, your grandparents doing these things, and it has become part of you and your sisters and your family.
Yes, 100%. And the 360 has grown just how we treat family.
Yeah.
We refer to members as family members if you're part of the 360. And whilst we're on that subject, every person of color, African Caribbean people around the world, wherever you live, should be members of a 360. It's free to join.
Mm.
And what we're creating is a family feel and our little community where we help each other. Francine was keen to have the WhatsApp group, a peer-led WhatsApp group. So in the WhatsApp group, it's not just us talking. You might join, and Craig, you should. Strong hint.
Uh,
Whatever's going on health wise, yeah, you can post in the group,
yeah.
and someone will say, you know what, Craig, I had the very same thing you're going through last year, and this is what I did. it worked beautifully, or it didn't work, right? Or these things will work, these things won't work. Take your pick. Or sometimes a case of, you know what, I'm going through that very same thing you're going through, Craig, and I'm looking for a solution. So why don't we do some research together? Why don't we meet up, have a drink, have a coffee, and then go looking for a solution? Or we have professional practitioners that speak on the platform that are also in the WhatsApp group. So there are many levels and layers, but it's a rich tapestry from all different walks of life.
I think together and looking at your logo, the 360, it's that complete circle because we all part of that circle. We're all part of that circle, and we can help each other by sharing. That's one of the key thing, we need to do is share. Um, what before we even go any further, what's the name of the WhatsApp group?
Well, we're the 360 Lifestyle Support Network CIC. It's a 360 WhatsApp group. You can't get into it and just like that. You need to come through us
Okay,
because we're very careful of who we let into the group. It's a very simple criteria,
right.
but we protect that as a safe space.
Okay.
And
So,
there are rules around that. So contact us. You can contact through the website or 360lsn.co.uk or just 360lsn. You'll find us on all social medias.
so
Or yeah,
that will be
that's how
on
you find
screen,
us.
so you can always connect with Leon and Francine on 360lsn.co.uk, and you can then get in touch with them, and you can be a part of that network. And I definitely will be joining your network, so to make sure that I don't miss out and all the wonderful family vibes that is happening there.
Thank you.
I want to move on to, okay, you struggled through the education system and then, the challenges that you face being a minority in your area. You left school and you were now into the world working. Tell us about that period of time.
I wanted to become a salesman because my father was a salesman. He was an insurance salesman. My stepfather was a double glazing salesman. So a good one at that. I mean, my father was by others that knew him better said very good at his craft. So I'm thinking it must be something that I can do. You need to have personality, some charm and charisma, along with some wisdom and logical brain to find solutions to problems. And I'm very good at that. I don't do selling anymore, but the traits I had, finding solutions, asking questions, having conversations. And a lot of people tell me that, we have conversation and they're incredible because they're telling me things that sometimes quite personal. And they'll say, well, you know what, since that happened to me 25 years ago, I might have been to counseling and told them about my general things, but some of the things I told you, I've never told them before.
Yeah,
So I don't know about being gifted, but it's definitely a skill. But to listen more than talk, the best salesman is not one that talks excessively, one that listens, because you're gonna tell us what problems you're encountering and what solutions you're trying to find. We're just gonna find products and services or ways
to help.
of helping you to find a solution.
Mm,
It's all about me selling you what I like best.
yeah,
It's about something fit for purpose, matching you, but also meeting you at your point of need, wherever that may be. So, the organization, we have different people with different skill sets. So, if you've got cancer, stage 5, stage 4, it's these practitioners we have. If you have lupus, it's these. And we have some generic practitioners, but many specialists. And we also are linked to things like the King's Chronic Kidney Disease Unit. That's a research unit. Now, the power of that is when we have our events, we have the King's Chronic Kidney Disease Unit testing. It's just a urine test. And at our events, we've had people diagnosed with kidney problems. But the beauty of that is if you go to your GP to get tested for what might be a kidney problem, when you go, you might not even know what that is.
yeah,
If a GP says, oh, okay, you seem to have a kidney problem, it's a blood test. They're going to send you to a specialist. That's going to take 6 to 8 weeks. By that time, you're worried, nervous, unsure what to do. You got questions like, is this going to kill me?
Yeah.
Can it be cured? Can I survive without a kidney? Can I find a transplant if I need one? All these things. And you hear so many stories about people on dialysis, they can't work, they can't anything because there wasn't all these things. So it's a worrying time, but the King's Chronic Disease Unit, the beauty of that is once they diagnose you as having a problem or being at risk of a problem, they will send you for further tests. They'll fast track you based up to the front of the queue.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes the same week, the event's on Saturday, and by Wednesday, Thursday, you'll be before a specialist discussing your blood results and finding out basically what o'clock a strike. Now, amazing service, and that's not just us. We are just the enablers and the facilitators.
So
We
so
find these things.
so that's one of the benefits of being a part of the 360 lifestyle network. You have those connection and those ways to direct people to get support and help early. Um,
The keyword early.
Early, yeah, yeah. Now, you are into this lifestyle and support network, and you talk at the beginning about how it all started, but you yourself is a beneficiary, or you have the challenges of health that you are dealing with yourself. So why is it so important for you? Tell us why and the benefits you
Well,
have seen.
well, it's like this. We can't all be taken from life. It's give and take, and some have to give.
Mm,
Now, I credit my mother with that mindset. Now, my sister Francine, we haven't talked about her much, although it was her original idea to do something.
yeah.
Okay. Very kind and loving individual. Loves to help people, even more than me. Sometimes I'm thinking you're helping people to your detriment
Hmm,
because you're not feeling well, but you're advocating for people and doing stuff. And to be fair, there's balance and harmony where we work. There's some of the things that she does that I couldn't do,
yeah.
Trot wouldn't do. She's more likely to do the hand holding, the more softer, nurturing side of our organization. Not that I don't care enough, but you see, I'm gonna show you love in a different way.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna put my arms around you, tell you it's okay. Let's go and find a solution, Craig. And we might go to a library or do some Google research, and I'm gonna put in the right direction what we're gonna do together.
Yeah.
My hope for you is that you pick up the rake real quick and follow the advice and get yourself to a better place. Because I have lots more people to help. So I sadly can't give you
All,
6 weeks of hand holding, right? That ain't gonna happen.
yeah.
And us men, that's not how we function. Now, my sister is way more patient. Okay. She will be working on something for a good long while. And I'm thinking, you know, at first it was a case of too long for that. And I'm thinking, but I realized that that person needs more care and attention. Okay. So sometimes I come across someone that they're psychologically they're not all together and they're gonna need those extra services, that extra help. Francine's a very good connector and signposting, I go to her for like, who do we know
Yeah.
that can do like housing? We got so many people in Lewisham. Housing is not our thing, but if a member's got a housing problem, we're not gonna say we deal with health, the housing, that's your business. It's gonna be a case of, okay, come, what can we do? And who do we know that works in Lewisham Council, for example? Who do you know that works in housing? At least finding a credible person that can tell us how it's supposed to be, whether the situation you're in is right for you, or if there's something not being done right that's causing you harm or suffering.
Yeah.
And we pivot. So just because we don't specifically deal in that area, I know Francine's been to court as an advocate for several members that find themselves in different situations, and she's gone and supported them. I'm thinking, yeah, that takes you a day or two. Okay. Me, I'm not doing that. Okay. But I'm gonna find you someone that can.
Yeah.
Sometimes that person's Francine. So we work well together.
So that's the important thing about this connection is that you are both the left and the right hand, but you come together to form a great team that support people in not just health but also in lifestyle and in their living, which is important for good health,
Well-being
well-being.
in general,
Yeah,
it's more than it's your mental health as well. Because some of the things we go through, lockdown was just an event that crystallized some conditions that we were probably having way before.
that's true.
And then certain things that, psychologically we go through a lot. You have inequalities, discrimination, and all those things that is a part of our daily life. If you wear the badge of honor, which is this carbon melanated, beautiful skin, certain things will come to you.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to wish that it was easier. We're just wishing we can help you to become stronger and become stronger ourselves in the process.
Because that's the important thing. We will all face challenges, whether it is lifestyle, whether it's well-being, whether it is health, but it's how you deal with it. And you mentioned that word so many times, the mindset, that having that positive mindset through that. I noticed on your flyer you talk about type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, prostate, heart disease, mental health, and more. So it's a wide range. So all the different illness that, and I guess people of the Black Caribbean culture will sometimes not want to talk about. How do you get people to talk about that and to share?
That is one of the key problems. One of the things we're solving is resilience, getting people more resilient, but then raising awareness and getting people to open up and talk. So we are specialists in creating safe spaces for community. We have a number of, for example, this morning we had our diabetes support group in New Cross, Chalk Deptford, and we had a small number of people, not a great number of people, and we had a couple of people that work for NHS that were in the room, but they support what we do and we're working together. But this one lady, I don't want to call her name. She's been diabetic now for about 10 years, but it says she was pre-diabetic for a long time. And her GP just said, like, we'll watch it. We'll watch it. And they'll watch it. And then when you become diabetic now, which will happen eventually, then now you're on medication. Now, the point of being pre-diabetic is it's a warning shot that
Yeah,
look, you're heading towards diabetes, yeah? Excuse me. If you wanna avert that, you can change your lifestyle, change the foods you're eating, change your habits, change, and you will not at this point in time at least become diabetic. But she felt safe enough to talk
yeah,
and explain when it comes to things like the foot checks that they're supposed to have and the eye checks and the kidney checks. A lot of people don't understand. They go for what's called an HbA1c blood test to check to see how your livers are doing. And a lot of the people we speak to don't know what the HbA1c signifies. They just know that if it's good, you get like a green light.
yeah,
If it's bad, you get a red light, and then you're in trouble and you have more medication and more problems on your head. But we help to educate people to understand what your HbA1c is, what affects it, what you can do, the importance of your eyes and getting that checked, the importance of getting your feet checked to check for nerve damage and to make sure that you got feeling in your feet. Because
mm,
those are signs that when you start to get numbness in the feet and you can't feel, you can, for example, buck your toe on it, bleed out, you wouldn't know.
oh,
Step on a nail and you wouldn't know.
mm,
It's a very dangerous condition to have. So it's important. And it's a very simple test, just like having a piece of string. Run it up and down. And if you can feel it, then you clearly got your nerves are working okay. But it's a very important test. Some of the diabetics we speak to have been diabetic for years and never had a foot check. It's part of the modus operandi for a GP and a diabetes specialist and the NHS. It's on the list of things that your diabetes specialist must do for you. But if they don't do it or tell you and you don't know what you should be done, you may go in and have your blood test on your HbA1c, they'll check your kidney and your cholesterol. and your sugar levels, and off you go.
So it's about educating, getting the education that we need to make sure we take control of our health and our lifestyle,
100%.
which the NHS and the doctors might not have the time or don't have the time to be spending telling you all of that. And people are not reading, people are not getting that information. And this is where Lifestyle Support Network will then be the place to educate people and people can ask questions.
That's basically what we do. And at our events, we have live events. We also have a local GP that comes to the events, and that's the longest queue,
Mm,
most popular. Not selling anything.
yeah,
We have a massage therapist. We have speakers at those events, but the GP, and they're just stoked that they can get to it. All right, try book an appointment in a hurry for your GP. You feel sick and you want to go
mm,
doctor in the morning, right? It's a case of, oh, I'm sorry, all the appointments are gone.
yeah,
You've been phoning from 8 o'clock, 8:15, all the appointments are gone, yeah? Either phone in the afternoon or phone back tomorrow. Tomorrow your phone, 8 o'clock, phone engaged. You wait. You've got no appointments left, maybe a telephone conversation can be had with your GP, maybe, or call in the afternoon or see how it goes. It's like it's a bit
yeah,
of a dose. It's a bit
yeah,
of a lottery.
yeah,
Now, you might have a simple question to ask. It might only take 2 minutes, but it's going to affect your mental health, your anxiety levels, because not knowing.
yeah,
And you know what? In nature abhors a vacuum. So where we don't have an answer, there's a vacuum of knowledge information. The brain starts to like fill that in for us and fill in the blanks.
yes.
Um, Craig, that feeling you have is all right. It could be that your kidneys are failing, your liver mash up,
Mm,
or you could have bowel cancer. It might be simple constipation,
yeah,
but you're gone in the deep end cancer. Before you know it, you're writing will and making plans, which you should have instantly anyway. And just to make sure, and you're telling the wife and children that listen, if anything happens to me, right, I want you to take charge. And what you know, and it's like, hold on a second, yo, a simple conversation. So we're enabling people at our events to see a GP.
yeah,
Ask some simple questions, yeah. Now, there's certain things that person can't do because they haven't got access to your medical records.
yes,
It can be generic. But if they check your blood pressure, for example, and find your blood pressure to be high, then they can advise you to go and see your GP, get checked. Talking about blood pressure, the silent killer, one of them. Every home should have a blood pressure monitoring machine. They can be out for as little as £10, although I spend 20
yeah,
to get a better quality one. But they'll take a reading. So you should be checking once a month, especially if you've got elderly people. Because when your pressure rises, you don't necessarily feel sick. You won't necessarily get a headache. You'll feel quite fine.
yeah.
But then when they check
Not
your pressure
knowing,
and find that you've got some, I mean, I've had people tell me that, you know what, the doctor said my pressure was so high. Many people have died with low pressures and that. And I had no idea. I'm told not to drive a motor vehicle, be careful while crossing the road, in fact, not to leave home. In fact, better still go straight to hospital. That's how
yeah,
high
yeah.
dangerous. And they had no idea. So having that monitor, you can check for yourself. It takes literally 2 minutes to test.
Now, you talk about those network. You have these regular meetings as we almost coming to an end. Tell us about these regular meetings. So once you sign up, no doubt you'll get information about these
Yes.
meetings and so forth. But tell us what you have on a regular basis and where you have your events.
Well, we have Zoom meetings online on a Sunday, most Sundays of the year, where we have professional practitioners that come in and speak. It could be something like domestic violence, how to navigate, how to protect yourself, how to be resilient, and how to manage those types of situations. Invariably, the speaker's got lived experience. We value lived experience on the platform. Not everyone that speaks is a doctor or got a PhD.
Yeah,
We know many people have lived experience and knowledge. Someone can have a PhD, and that means they've undertaken like 12 years of study at university and they're past master at regurgitating that information.
yeah,
But oftentimes they haven't got like critical thinking skills. and sometimes basic common sense.
Yeah.
But they could be branded a genius. Now, someone who's got lived experience, you know what? We've been there. We're living through that and dealing with that every day. This is what we found is very valuable. So some of the speakers are just ordinary people that are willing to share their experiences on whatever they are going through. So we have a variety of different speakers, and a lot of the speakers have agreed to join the WhatsApp group so that you have access to them. But we got to be mindful of the fact that they're working professionals.
Yeah.
I mean, like our prostate specialist is Dr. Frank. He's a Harley Street physician, a Bart's urologist, and very, very senior in urology. So when it comes to prostate health, he's up there with the best. Now, we don't want people phoning him at midnight saying, look, my prostate feel a bit awkward and whatever. But he's going to talk for us.
Yeah.
And we can direct you as to what's normal and what's not normal. So we put on the talk so you get the information. In the information, the speakers will tell you what you should be doing, what your next move is, what you can. Very key part of we have a presentation first half, the second half is questions and answers. We don't leave the platform until all the questions of all the participants have been answered, or we have a plan for getting back to you. So you will get the answers too.
Yeah.
The sessions are interactive. You don't have to come on camera, although we highly encourage it because it's nice for the speaker when
See.
they see a live audience.
Yeah.
When it's all a black screen, like you're talking to yourself until somebody asks a question. But we have etiquette rules, no heckling. You agree to disagree with whatever the speaker says. You're encouraged to make your own inquiries and do your own due diligence. So we never say, look, this is the law of XYZ. It's a case of this is what you should be doing. This is what the information research says. This is what's likely to happen, what can happen, and what to look out for. Do your own research, check your GP and get them to refer you here, there, or whatever. Or come to us if you need a naturopathic healer, herbs and natural healings, and we
So
can help.
so you have a whole host of specialists that you can always recommend. And do
Absolutely.
you have the resources or links to resources? Do they get links to resources too?
We do have some resources, but as a organization of color, it's tight. I'm not gonna lie to you. And funding is a constant battle, trying to get funding so we can be sustainable. Some of our members donate. We don't pressure anyone. And some of the speakers come with some resources. Okay. We can get things done that would probably cost you hundreds if you were to pay for the services. But that said, we want to be respectful to the practitioners and they need to live as well. So everyone should be respected. And if someone's charging £60 for a service, in my summary, I always encourage you to pay that person a minimum of £60. Minimum. If you can pay 70, pay 70. Because guess what? That £10 is gonna go towards helping someone else who can't pay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a mindset that we should have. We don't want to hear about, listen, me, I come from Jamaica, yeah, it's £70, right? But maybe you have £50, right?
Yeah.
I'm on the top of the ring service. That is frowned upon. We're not raising a community like that. We're raising a community that want to see you do well.
Yeah.
Like, for example, your podcast. We're delighted that you've asked us to be on here, but we're going to promote you.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone that sees this from our network and says, boy, that interview was X, it was this or whatever, that Craig brother really give you a chance to shine and show and ask some incredible questions, right? You're going to say, well, if you have something to share, we can link you up.
Yeah.
I'm not on a commission, but I want to see you do well.
It's about the network and sharing, because I think for this platform or for this podcast, for the aim is that more people will know about Lifestyle Support Network because they'll as you said at the start, there are lots of people who are suffering who don't know where to get the help. And this is where one of the places that you can get the help that you need and you can ask the questions that you need.
Absolutely. We're working to become the number one resource for Black people when it comes to health and wellness in the United Kingdom, bar none. That is a tall order. That is
Mm,
a big vision. Especially where we're starting. We're starting from a start in place of zero. Okay. But just when you mention our name, just please do just put the 360 at the beginning.
yeah.
360 Lifestyle Support Network CIC. That name was chosen by Francine, and it means all round. We're looking at, we got you all round, yeah? Not just one or two little things, yeah? Your well-being, your mental health, your physical fitness, your thought process, and understanding food, what is chemicalized, what the chemicals mean. And just by the way, if you're reading a label and you need some spectacles to read the fine print, and it's got like 40 different things you don't recognize,
Mm,
numbers, E, F, G, like the alphabet and numbers, don't buy that. That's not natural.
yeah.
That's ultra processed. All those chemicals mean something. You might not know the code, but it's a code. Now, why are we buying things with codes on that we can't understand? Now, there's a book, Nutricide. I thoroughly recommend that book because it decodes what the numbers mean. And there's a book I call a butcher's favorite. I can't remember the number specifically. There's a number when you see that, what that chemical is for. Butchers use that to mask the smell of rotting meat. Now,
Mm,
if you're eating meat and animal products, the reason why meat smells when it goes off, so you can know that it's
yeah.
if they dip it in this chemical and put it up back right, you won't smell a thing.
Oh. So
Okay,
we need to go back to the Garden of Eden, and that's one of the things you're promoting, that as natural lifestyle. The fruits and the grains are for healing, and we need to get back to where we are. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't realize that, and this is where 360 Lifestyle Support Network is
there
the
you go.
place
That's the one.
to get all the information that you need to help have a better lifestyle. We're almost at the end of this interview, and I just want you to give you the last word. What is it you have told us about what you're aiming for and what you're planning to do and all the plans you have? What advice or what the last word would you share with somebody who is listening and watching this?
It's just that to love, honor, and respect your body as a temple. Okay, but you only have one body. Okay, and it's not like marriage where if it doesn't work well, you can divorce and get the next wife. With the body, you can't leave that body and get the next one. Okay, one body we have. Okay, now there are forces working against us. I'm talking about all of humanity, no matter what nationality you are. Okay, there are challenges, food security,
Yeah,
even going. That's a big topic. I wish you cover that if you haven't done so already. Even things as simple as going back to mother nature.
yeah,
The earth is compromised, and things are being done to the food. So now we have to be ninja to work out, what food, because they're chemicalizing even the food and
yeah,
injecting things in the food, and pesticides, whole different topic, and forever toxins and poisons that are being given onto us. Fluoride in water, for example. Fluoride is not good for you.
yeah.
So if you look on toothpaste, it will tell you if you swallow this right, go straight to A&E. Now,
Mhm.
why would you put that in your mouth? But
Yeah,
at the bottom of the toothpaste, there are codes, and if it's green, it's herbal and natural. You can swallow that all day long. Now, to me, it would make sense to brush your teeth with something like that.
yeah,
So all those things that we're teaching is more than just blood pressure, diabetes. There's a whole lot of things, yeah. And we have a big mandate, but the point is, join us. The best thing you can do is join our community because that will strengthen us. Okay.
and the more we are together, the stronger we shall be.
Yeah, because in our community, we have a lot of skills and we are skillful people. But sometimes when we're individually, we're living hand to mouth. A lot of the times we're working and
Yeah,
can't see any excess, can't vacation, can just about keep our head above water. In fact, some of us are struggling so bad, going under.
yeah.
Two or three people come together and work together as a unit. Animals look to nature. Animals, when they move as a pack, it's very hard, even for a strong lion, to infiltrate when we work together as a unit. But you see, once one of us goes a different direction on our
Yeah.
own, dead no one, done. So look to nature and emulate that.
Well, Leon, I really, really want to thank you for, the insight as to the great work you're doing at 360 Lifestyle Network with your sister Francine. And I'm really looking forward to having some time to have a conversation with Francine herself and hear from her side, because no doubt she has a different view on life, and she works differently from you. So I look forward to having that conversation with her. And I encourage you, those of you who are watching or listening, to make sure you join the network. Whether or not you think you're 100% healthy, it's always good. You must have something. Share your grandmother's um, ways of treating life and treating health and so forth. So,
Join
I-
for tomorrow.
say again.
Join for tomorrow.
Join for
If you're
tomorrow.
feeling perfectly fine, right? You don't know what's around the corner, how you're going to be tomorrow. Okay. We're working on preventing as well as, you know, remedying situations and turning things around. But the earlier you come to us, the earlier we can start working on getting your health, to the optimum.
So there you have it from Leon Thompson, the one of the co-founder and one of the directors for 360 Lifestyle Support Network CIC. I just want to thank you again, and thank you for watching, and we see you on the next episode of Impact. Thank you. Bye.